the gospel truth. There's always negotiating and there's always bartering. Everybody loves golf clubs, and especially they can always work deals. The same thing with newspapers, and sometimes even with guys that will print your brochures. You give them a driver, maybe they'll print you up some brochures. But now, Tony, you're strictly a custom club maker, correct? You don't carry OEM product, correct?
That's correct.
Great.
So
and,
almost everything that I make does come from Hireko. There are a number of different manufacturers and suppliers out there, but the reason that I consistently use Hireko is the quality of the product and the outstanding service and shipping that I get from them. Great.
Tony, briefly talk about some of the things that haven't worked for you. Now, you talked about print marketing, just about the expenses. Do you have a few words to say about that? Any words of advice?
As far as newspaper, I've never tried magazines, but newspaper advertising, it tends to be a very expensive way to market, and I have gotten very, very, very few results from it. There are a couple of print avenues that can be low cost. In our area, we have a magazine that gets mailed out to all of the residences around. It's called Community Values Magazine. I guess in the concept, it's somewhat similar to Valpak, but it's significantly less expensive than Valpak, and I get a better result the times that I have used it. Valpak has been totally ineffective for me. My website, when I had it up, was really good and got me some good results. But I'm in the process of revamping it, trying to get it to where I can reach a broader audience as far as fitting. Because right now, all the fitting that I do is that relationship based that Rob was talking about earlier. I personally meet with each client, do the measuring and that. So I'm looking at adding some tools that may allow me to broaden my footprint, so to speak, and sell to customers who are not necessarily within 50 miles of me.
Right. And what would you say is one of your biggest challenges, you think, that's happened this year? Because as I've talked to the panelists, I expected the economy and the recession to be their #1 challenge, and most of them say no. It's that getting over that perception hump. Would you agree? You've got a little bit of a glut of customers, of custom club makers in your area. That's one of your biggest challenges, right, Tony?
That would be my biggest challenge, because custom club making has almost become, in the past 3 or 4 years, a Me Too kind of industry. It's, I talk to customers about club making, and oh yeah, my friend does that, or my grandfather, or my aunt, or my uncle, or whomever. We actually have, in the small community that I work in, we have 2 who actually have storefronts that do club making. There are also some of the chain stores that are getting into custom club making as well. Golf USA, I can't remember the other one that's locally here, but there are, in fact, one of my good customers that I had built clubs for and done regripping and repairs for, actually opened up a Golf USA and now does his own custom golf assembly. So competition is becoming more rampant, or more of an issue than it had been in the past. But again, I go back to the relationship-based marketing that I do, which has been very successful for me. Developing those relationships, I have customers that I built clubs for back in 2003, 2004 that are calling me because they've seen something new and want to see what I have that's comparable to it.
Great. Hey, Tony, what do you think is then how have you been fighting all that glut? Has it been through your personal service relationship building?
Absolutely. I'm not going to go out and start spending $1,000 or $3,000 or $10,000 on a marketing campaign when I have a list of every single customer that I've ever done. And I also have utilized a program that I started back when I opened the full-time shop that I still practice with. And that's whenever a customer buys something from me, whether it's regripping, new clubs, repairs, doesn't matter what it is. I put a 10% in their ledger that they can use to accumulate, so that it's kind of like your frequent buyer coffee card.
Right.
So they buy $1,000 worth of products from me. They've got $100 worth of credit that they can use for anything that I sell. If they need a new bag, if they need clubs regripped, if they need repairs done, if they want to continue to accumulate that until they can get an entire set of clubs, then great, I let them do that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It gives them incentive, and that's important. Hey, Tony, how about next year? Anything you're going to be doing any different, any big goals, any big wishes?
No, I'm actually very comfortable. I do probably 20, 25 sets of clubs a year, along with the repairs that I do. So that keeps me interested enough that that I continue to look for ways to improve my business. But I definitely don't want to get back to doing full-time work again. Now, my long-term goal is, once my wonderful wife says that, okay, it's time for us to retire, my goal is actually to get a panel van, stock it with clubs and shafts and grips, and travel around, do special events at golf courses. So head to a different golf course every week and do that for 6 months, and then be retired for the other 6 months.
Yeah, that sounds like a blast too. Hey, Jeff, you got any questions for Tony?
No.
Before we go on to our next panelist?
Nope.
I was about ready to go over to Gary. I saw that he's there, but let me see if I can unmute him. But any last words there, Tony? We super appreciate you joining us today. And you can, Tony's website is clubsandhues.com. And you are in what area of the country again, Tony?
I'm in Centralia, Washington, so I'm halfway between Seattle and Portland.
Great. So go on up to see Tony if you need some custom clubs. All right, Tony. So I'm going to mute you if you don't have anything else left to say, and go over to Gary.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Okay, Gary. I think you are. I'm not sure. I see that you have logged in, but maybe you are you there, Gary? If not, I'll go over to Rick. We're having a little bit of technical problems here. Gary has logged in, but I think he's having some phone problems. Jeff, I don't know if you have the ability to chat with him. If you see his name on the, you can't see him on the attendee list. Well, we'll just do the. But let me go over to Rick. You there, Rick?
I am here.
Thank you. Thanks so much for joining today, too. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great. Now, Rick is from TNT Custom Golf. He's also one of the, are you a board member on the International Clubmaking Guild, or on the steering committee?
Well, I'm actually on the membership committee. I'm the chairman of the membership committee.
And we'll talk about it at the end. But his website is tntgolf.net, and his phone is 706-863-2011. So you want to introduce yourself, Rick, and tell a little bit about your history of custom club making?
Yes, I've been doing this since '92 as a hobby for a very, very long time. I've been in sales all my life, so it kind of transitioned. I mean, this is all sales and relationship building. And at one point in time, my